Hey guys. Um, I've been getting myself back in a more of an academic frame of mind this week, and I think it's related to what I've been reading, to what I've been watching, to what I've been seeing. Well, smart science fiction I've been paying attention to lately. I'm reading through the majority of Orson Scott Card's Ender series, well, in anticipation for the movie, and because I've always wanted to, and because I would rather know as much about Ender's universe as I possibly can before the movie comes out, so I can't. So I'm not left disappointed, even though I might be. But my idea behind the disappointment is that maybe I could possibly be disappointed and understand why they didn't do things in a certain way. Though at the same time, I think the three books following Ender's Game, Speaker for the Dead, Xenocide, and Children of the Mind, are, on the whole, a much bigger group of ideas than that of Ender's Game, which is not a bad idea, because it's this whole idea like that we have in things like the Hunger Games and older things like Lord of the Flies and like all those other stuff, pitting children against children or having children fight our battles for us. The moral implications of that are staggering. But he makes an even bigger morality play when he makes a thing like he jumps to the ghost in the machine, and there's this entity, Jane. She's a computer based sentient consciousness, and she doesn't know how she's created. She doesn't know that she was created. She just knows that she exists, and whether or not that makes her a person, we don't know. But Ender asks her the question, or Ender or someone else asks her the question, "Are you God?" And of course she isn't, but in a way, she knows more than everyone else. She can do multiple things at once, all seeing, all hearing. Also talks about the implications of faster than light travel, as in appearing somewhere at the exact same instant that you left. Jane knows how to do it. And why would Jane know how to do it? She's able to bring you outside of the universe into a nothing place where everything apparently comes from, and puts you right back out. Ender meets the version of his brother and sister that exists inside his head. So Children of the Mind, as well as a religious cult within the confines of that. It was interesting to see how they grasped for personhood, finding themselves akin to Jane, who seemed to derive their existence from something Ender did or didn't do. And then there's the Hive Queen, who Ender resurrects after destroying their entire race, who is kind of amazing in the fact that she is an individual, but she is also her entire species, her entire race. And they communicate, but they don't talk. They don't have a language, but they are the smartest creatures in the universe. Searching for other life, what the idea of other life means. Are we still made in an image of God? Are we made this way? Are we made that way? Whose image are we created in? If there's multiple variations throughout. And then there's also the Pequeninos, the little ones, the piggies, who live on Lusitania colony, who start out their lives as larval grubs, move on to a stage where they become like these pig-like, sort of human, sort of piggish, little tree dwellers, and then ultimately begin the third stage of their life and become trees themselves. And the whole idea is that the more we try to figure out life with science and with religion, the more we know we don't know. And that's really where you take your leap of faith. And seeing that, as I found out after, the Orson Scott Card is very attached to his religious beliefs and his faith, the whole moralistic bent of his stories seems to make a lot more sense. But at the same time, he's writing with the idea that he wants to get you to come up with your own idea. And the fact that he's introducing elements that kind of counter his own belief system and does them so well is really cool. I've been told that his other series aren't nearly as good as the Ender stuff, but there's a lot of stuff going on. I do wish more of the spin-off novels actually dealt with the 3,000 years between Book 1 and Book 2, because Ender travels at light speed. He experiences his life much slower than the universe is actually going by, which is the only series that really explains travel in that way, instead of going to warp and everything else. So it's kind of cool to think that this man has lived for 3,000 years, but he's still only like 25 or 30. But it's what happens. And very few things that I've read or seen really deal with it in that way. I mean, yeah, Star Trek kind of eliminates the need for explanation because First Contact and everything else. Star Wars eliminates the need for explanation. One, because they're not trying to be scientifically possible. They're just trying to be exciting and fun and good. But at the same time, they also said it, even though it's apparently in a galaxy far, far away, a long time ago. It may be a long time ago, but it is years and years and years, like 30,000 years after their interstellar civilization started, so we never need to know why. And also, as far as smart science fiction, Star Trek Into Darkness, which brings classic Trek to classic Trek's happy, which makes action movie fans happy, which makes science fiction in general fans happy, and also makes Star Wars fans happy. Well, at least this Star Wars fan, because J.J. Abrams is directing Star Wars as well, and I really want to see how they connect. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. I would also like to see some of those actors as Star Wars characters. And I hope that now that he's attached to Star Wars, that Roberto Orci and Alex Kurtzman and I can't remember the other guy's name at the moment. What's his name? Well, I can't find his name, but the other guy that's involved in the movie, one of the big producers of it. And yeah, I can't explain how awesome this is. And Benedict Cumberbatch is Khan, and the moral implications behind his frozen science team in the torpedoes, and the fact that the bad guy is someone other than him, even though he does horrible, horrible things throughout the entire movie. But you can pity him, and you can feel for him. And also, to cap off my week of smart sci-fi, I read Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. First off, Octavia Butler is one of the most exciting voices of sci-fi. I'm sad that she's dead. Well, I mean, I should be anyway, but I'm sad also because I couldn't imagine what she could do next. All of her stories involve taking root in the stars and following our destiny to a greater consciousness and getting beyond race issues and gender issues and sex issues. The most prominent African-American female voice in science fiction, Octavia Butler, done a lot for feminism, activism, a lot of speaking out against class discrimination. So basically, before this video gets too long, Parable of a Sower is about a girl named Lauren who has hyperempathy syndrome. Whereas she can't just feel what other people are feeling, she can feel their pain. And she doubles over in agony when she sees people get knocked over, or say when she has to shoot someone, which in this world, survival is key. Although the US government still exists in this not-so-distant future, it kind of exists in name only. And they live in a walled-off community in the ruins of California and what was once probably a suburb of Los Angeles or something. They said they're like 20 miles south of LA, so yeah, probably like a suburb or something. And her ultimate goal is to go outside and to create a community of betterness within the world, something that she calls Earthseed. The main tenet of Earthseed is that God is change, because change is the only thing that is not in our control. So therefore, we shape God and God shapes us. And her idea, while not wholly my own thoughts about that, I always have been telling people that change is the only constant in life. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner we can live our life to a more full extent. Basically, circumstances happen and Lauren finds herself out on the road and has to dress up as a man in order to intimidate the bad people that she finds along the road. And ultimately she builds a group of people, the least likely group of people, like mixed race, a bunch of children, like only two guns, and a lot of people to take care of. And they take comfort in thinking that she's a big, strong man. But they also take comfort in the fact, when they find out that she's a woman, that, wow, gender stereotypes are stupid. Well, they don't say it like that, but that's what I said. But anyway, it's like reading The Road, or any book like that, really. It's kind of like a lot of really big ideas in here, and set up in a diary-esque way, and it's easy reading, it's fun reading, it's shocking, it's heartbreaking, it's everything a good book should be, and it's everything that science fiction should be. But I will let you go, 'cause I don't want to spoil any more of it, but stay tuned for greatness. Keep it nerdy, people.